Welcome to Stevie's Kitchen. Today I'm making a Southwest Sweet Potato Skillet. So let's get started on these sweet potatoes. I got some olive oil that I'm putting over the sweet potatoes. I have 2 sweet potatoes that I've chopped up in here and just kind of getting a little drizzle on these so I can toss them. Getting this olive oil on there will allow these seasonings to stick a little bit better. So you can tell I cut these into about 2 centimeter thick cubes. I want to have a little decent sized bite on these. I'm going to start with a tablespoon of ground cumin, tablespoon of smoked paprika, tablespoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of chili powder, tablespoon of onion powder, and some fresh cracked black pepper. As you can tell, these are some well-seasoned potatoes. I'm gonna make sure this dish is nice and flavorful. Got that olive oil on, just holding the bowl. Gonna toss till everything is evenly coated. So now I got a sheet pan with some parchment paper on it. Just gonna take these potatoes out, spread them out nice and evenly so none of them are stacked on top of each other so they all can cook evenly. And we're gonna go into the oven, 350 for about 30 minutes. So I have a Poblano pepper here that I fire roasted on top of my stove, just direct flame. Then I put it in a bag to kind of sweat it out a little bit. It's been sitting in here for about 10 minutes. As you can tell, it's about to fall apart right here. But I just kind of like to kind of put it back in the bag slightly. Just remove some of those charred pieces off of it by just kind of rubbing it and massaging that skin. So you'll still get the flavor, but I just personally don't like that super charred, but you'll still get that fire roasted flavor. You can tell it's nice and tender. If it doesn't all come off in the bag, you just take your fingers, it'll wipe off. So Poblano peppers aren't what you call spicy, so you don't really have to worry too much about the seeds in this one. If you don't want them, you can take them out, but they won't add too much heat if you keep them in. I personally just don't want them in mine, so I'm just gonna remove some of the seeds out of it. So now I'll just get it all laid out nice and flat. Just get some uniform chops. We're gonna start it off long. Now we're gonna turn them sideways. Got your fire roasted Poblano chopped up and ready to go. So now we're gonna get started on the beef for this. So I have 1 medium onion and 4 cloves of garlic in here. So it's gonna get a nice little sweat on this. I have 2 tablespoons of butter already in here that was melted. We're just gonna let this kind of go for about 3 to 4 minutes till the vegetables get a little translucent. So with that, I'm gonna add in a pinch of salt, not too much to start with, just enough to help bring the moisture out. A little bit of fresh cracked black pepper, because what's salt without pepper? Now that our vegetables are sweated down, I got 2 pounds of beef, and you can do whatever type of beef you want for this. Me personally, I always get my beef from G Farms. They don't pay me for this. I just really like G Farms beef. And it's grass-fed, grass-finished, so it's what I use all the time. But I got 2 pounds of it going in here. I got some of this beef broken down a little bit, and we're just gonna build the flavors. We're gonna use the exact same seasonings that we used on the sweet potatoes. We got onion powder going in, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 spoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, some fresh cracked black pepper, Then I'm gonna add another couple more pinches of salt. And we're just gonna keep chopping this up and cooking it till it all finishes. So I got a question for all y'all. What is the greatest rivalry in sports? As y'all can tell, I'm rocking Big Blue. I say Michigan, Ohio State is by far the best. And one statement, or I can just say the name of our rivalry is why it's the best in sports. It's called the game. Point blank, period. You just say the game, everybody knows what you're talking about. Michigan, Ohio State, best rivalry in sports. What do y'all think? So while the sweet potatoes are finishing roasting, we have all this beef ready to go. Just got a bowl here. So we're gonna assemble all this. I'm just gonna take this beef, get it all in here. And then we have that poblano that we roasted up. It's gonna go in. I have 1 can of beans, 1 can of corn, and 1 bell pepper. So we're gonna get all this out, go into our bowl, get a good mixture, good mix on all this. So now we have this ready to go. When the sweet potatoes are finished, we're just gonna pour over top and your meal prep is ready. So now that we have the sweet potatoes out the oven and our beef and veggie mixture ready, we're just gonna assemble all these and be ready to go. So we're just gonna do equal parts of sweet potatoes in each dish. Try to stack them. I'm gonna try to stack mine to the side a little bit, just so they keep a little bit of texture on them. Because whenever you reheat these and they sit in the fridge, your sweet potatoes are already gonna soften, but I don't want them to be mushy. So I'm gonna keep the moisture as best I can away from them. There's still gonna be a little bit of overlap, but not directly on top, so every single piece is soggy. So now we're gonna come in with the meat mixture. This is definitely gonna be a high protein meal. Like I said, those 2 pounds of beef that we started off with. This is 5 days worth of food, or 5 meals, not 5 days, 5 meals. So you do the math. And now for the taste test. So I'm gonna do this taste test in 2 different bites. I'm gonna do the meat mixture separate. Get a little bit of everything in there. Colorful. The sweetness of the corn stands out in this dish to me. You have all that Southwest flavor, and then you get that little pop of sweetness and crunch from the corn. Those sweet potatoes, same thing. All that Southwest flavor with a little bit of sweet from that potato. It's a dish. You're gonna like this.